if a man is in a position where he is overly preoccupied with his mother's needs, he is going to neglect most of his own needs. And so a lot of his time and energy will be directed towards his mother and her life. And so his own life is going to be greatly undermined. In fact, he might not have much of a life himself. And if he is aware of what is going on, he could wonder why he is behaving in this way. And he may see that he has been behaving in this way for a very long time. And if he was to merely think about living his own life and putting his own needs first, he could end up experiencing lots of anxiety and fear. And so just thinking about doing this will be a challenge. And so before long, he could go back to how he was before. And at this point, it could be as though he has no control over his life. And if his mother was to call or message him, he could soon be on his way to being there for her. And if this is just what is normal, and his mother expects him to be there for her, then most likely she is not going to encourage him to live his own life, or even feel guilty for using her son in this way. And if he was to draw the line and to say no to his mother, she could end up doing what she could to make him feel guilty, and she could even end up verbally abusing him. And if this was to take place, it will be clear that she sees him as a possession, and she will not realize that he is an individual with his own needs and feelings and life to lead. And at this point, it will be as though he only has two options. Either he does what his mother wants and neglects his own life, or he puts himself first and he ends up experiencing a lot of painful feelings, and he feels as though his life is going to come to an end. And what this will show is that he doesn't realize deep down that he is an individual and that he doesn't need his mother in order to be able to survive. And upon realizing this, he could question why he is this way. He could even come to the conclusion that he just needs to get it together, and he could heavily criticize himself. But most likely, he is not consciously choosing to experience life in this way. And so although he will want to live his own life, there will be another part of him that doesn't believe that he will be able to survive if he lives his own life. And at this point, he could struggle to understand why he is this way, why he is unable to live his own life, and why he feels that he needs his mother in order to be able to survive. And what this is likely to show is that during his early years, he simply didn't receive the nutrients that he needed in order to grow and develop. And as a result of this, he would have been dependent very early on, and he will continue to be dependent now that he is an adult. And so he will have experienced a physical birth, of course, but he won't have experienced an emotional birth. And so right from the beginning, when he was an infant, there was a strong chance that he was often neglected. And when he did receive attention, it is likely to have been attention that was not in sync with what he needed. And so this can mean that he was often fed when he didn't need to be fed, that he was held when he didn't need to be held. And then after this, when he felt the need to break away and to start exploring his environment, when he was a few years old, he may have also been discouraged and even punished and disapproved of if he tried to do this. And so in both of these stages, as well as others, he would have been forced to adapt to his mother and then to his father as time went by. And so he would have been deprived of the nutrients that he needed in order to go through each developmental stage. And this is then why he will feel that he needs to please his mother in order to survive, and why he will feel as though he is nothing more than an extension of his mother, because he won't have received what he needed in order to go from a dependent to an interdependent human being, and to feel whole and complete, to develop a felt sense of worth and security and love. And so he will be in a very underdeveloped state. And so if you're a man and you can relate to this, you can see that you are in an underdeveloped state, then there is no need for you to lay into yourself, to blame yourself, for you to come to the conclusion that there is anything inherently wrong with you. Quite simply, you didn't receive what you needed, and how you are experiencing life as an adult is simply a consequence of that. But now that you are an adult, you can do something about this, and most likely, due to what you experienced, you will be carrying a lot of emotional wounds and negative beliefs. And so in order for you to move forward, most likely you will have a lot of negative beliefs to question and emotional wounds to work through. But the main thing is that although you were abandoned very early on, physically and emotionally, you don't need to abandon yourself. So please reach out for the assistance that you need to gradually change your life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.